get started with this project then, let's just run through the materials that I'm using today and a little bit of equipment. So materials wise, you're going to need all the different colours for the pansies. Now I'm using lilacs and purples for mine, but if you wanted to use a different colour pansy, that's entirely up to you. I've got the darker purple, the lilac, and then I have this nice ivory and lemon, and these are from the A4 premium cardstock packs from Hobbycraft. The purples are from the South Beach pack, and the yellow and the ivory one is from the main pastels pack. I will put links to these in the description down below for you. Those four colours are 180 GSM cardstock, and then this white is a 300 GSM cardstock, which I'm using for the main body of the card. The purple one is the one that I have used for the envelope as well, so that works pretty well for both the card and the envelope. It's a really nice sturdy piece of cardstock. If you're going to be foiling your card like I have using toner foiling, I'm using this one that I got from Shein. It is a antique gold. I think these are $2.49, and I've had nothing but good experiences with this foil. I will pop a link to this down below for you as well. Then I'm using the scoring board today instead of the scoring tools in my Cricut, and the reason I'm doing that is just to save a little bit of time with swapping between tools and blades there. Then I've got my glue in my usual bottle and a small Cricut scraper. I've got my usual scissors, weeding tools, all that sort of thing on hand just in case I need them, but I don't think I will for this one. And that is all we're going to need. So let's jump straight into making the project. This is the design that we're going to be using today then, and it's one that I've just put together in Cricut Design Space using different elements that are available either from the shapes menu or from the images menu. This project will be available in my profile as well, so if you don't know how to find a profile, I'll pop a really short video down below in the description that you can have a quick look at just to show you how to do that. And as I said, this will all be on there ready for you to use for Mother's Day. So this design is made up of several different elements. We've got the envelope here, which I've done this really cute little heart cutout on. And then we've got the main body of the card here, and these are the pansies. Now, whilst they don't look like pansies at the moment, once we put them onto the card and we bend them around, they're going to look absolutely perfect. Then I've got the main portion of the card here with a score line down the centre. That's optional if you want to use it or not. I'm actually using a scoreboard with mine today instead of scoring on my machine, just to save a little bit of time switching between the different blades for that. And then we've got a plain purple layer. We've got this white layer, which I've printed onto some lemony coloured card, the same sort of colour as the centre of my pansies. And then this is in black because I have used my foil machine to add a nice foil embellishment on there instead, and I've done that in a nice antique gold. If you wanted to use a pre-scored, pre-cut card and envelope, you can absolutely do that as well. All you're going to want to do is hide the envelope like so, and then come over here and hide the card. So to do that, you just want to hide this layer here, so it just leaves you with the front there. If you want to resize everything, just ensure that you select all and resize everything at the same time. If you accidentally click on one item and then you stretch that out, it's going to ruin the look of your card. So just make sure that you do all that before you're ready to cut your card. Now that we're familiar with the design, then let's go through to make it and have a quick look at all the different layers that we've got to cut. So the first one is the print then cut. If you are using a Mink machine today, like I am, then you're going to want to print this out on a laser printer. You cannot foil using an inkjet, unfortunately. Then I have my lemony coloured portion of my pansies, a purple layer, a lighter lilac layer, and then we've got this square as well. Now I actually cut this square on the same colour as this one, so if you want to do that today, just click on this three dots here and then click on move object, and then you can just select that mat there, click on confirm, and then you can just pull that down so that it doesn't overlap the pansies, and then this last mat becomes completely empty. So we've got 4 mats to cut. Let's go to continue, get all this cut out and printed, and then I'll come back to you and we'll go through the assembly. Here we go then, here's everything that we have cut for this project. So we've got the foiled layer. As you can see, it looks really nice and shiny. It didn't stick quite so well to this heart, but I think that might have been my fault because I didn't flatten it out directly in the ink. This is going to be my envelope. So as I said, instead of using the scoring tools in my machine today, I've actually used a scoring board for a change, just to give it a go. And I'm quite impressed with how thick those score lines are. I will show you the scoreboard a bit later on so that you can see that. And then I did the same with my card. I cut this out using some 300 GSM cardstock. Then we've got the lilac layer, which is the same colour as this part of the pansy, and then we have 4 darker purples and then 3 of a pale sort of ivory colour, which I'm using today. And then for assembly, I've just got some glue in one of my precision tip bottles, and I've got the small Cricut scraper as well, and this is going to aid me with curling around the petals on my flowers, ready to put those onto the card. So the first thing I'm going to do then is score this envelope. Now I've already scored this one, but I'm going to show you what I used to do it. So this is the scoreboard that I'm using, and I'm going to show you how it works. It's pretty cool. So all you do is take off this little tool that's on the top of it. I'm just going to grab a random piece of paper, and all you do is just put it up to the corner there on the scoreboard, and then you just measure on the top. This is inches, or you can flip it round and you can do it in centimetres this way around. I usually use centimetres, so I'm going to go over to the 2 centimetre mark, which is there, and then I can just pull that down, and it creates the most wonderful, thick, easy to fold score line I've ever seen in my life. I think I'm going to be a big fan of this new little bit of equipment that I've got. I'll pop a link down below to this so that you can see it. But yeah, really good little bit of kit. Anyway, back to the card. So first thing that we want to do really is stick together the card. So we've got the main body of the card here, and then this purple layer, and then this one is going to go on top. Now you could either use just regular glue like I'm going to, or you could use some 3D foam pads. It's entirely up to you. I'm just going to make mine flat because it's going to have the 3D element of the pansies on the top, and we don't want it to be too thick to go into the envelope. So the first layer goes on like so, and that is roughly 1 centimetre away from the edge, and then the yellow one that I've put on is about 5 millimetres, so just about half a centimetre away. The glue I'm using today is Collal all-purpose glue as well, which I use all the time. I'm just going to leave that to dry for a moment while I glue together and fold my envelope. So as I said, this scoreboard just makes the folding process so much easier. I did go a little bit off there with my first score, but I managed to go back over it, and I don't think that you're going to see that. So let's fold that over at the bottom. Just going to put my glue on this side of the envelope, not on that tab, because if I do that, then there is a possibility that I'll put it on the wrong part and you'll be able to see it, and we don't want that. Okay, stick that together. And what I like to do is just put a small little bit of double-sided tape or something either along this side, or in this case I will put it on the top here where the heart is, just so that that's going to hold that shut when the card is inside the envelope. Next we want to put together our pansies. So it will be a good idea to refer to the images on the screen. So I've just got that up there now, and then I will put these together as we go. So what I'm going to do firstly is just sort my pansies into the order that they're going to go. So for the first one, I'm going to grab one of these pieces. Then I have a lilac. Then I need another purple, but this one is very slightly smaller. And then I've got a ivory. Then for the other two, it is purple, lilac and ivory, and they're both the same. So they're going to go onto here. This is the biggest one, so let's just get this so that it's arranged properly. And we need to make sure that the bit that looks a little bit like a heart is facing the same way on all of those. So we just want to make sure we've got them the correct way up throughout our design. Oops, put that one. This can be a little bit tricky, but we're going to get there with it. There we go. So they are all the right way round now. What I'm going to do is just put a little dab of glue onto the centre there, and then I will pop that one on there. Same again onto there, and I will grab my other lilac one. Now these need to be thoroughly dried before we can start with the folding, so I'm just going to put them together and then let them dry for a few minutes before we start to fold. So let's just put them out the way. If you've got a weight that you can put on them, it wouldn't be a bad idea. Everything's now dry then, so we're ready to start making our pansies look a little bit more pansy-like. So here they are, and here is my mini scraper that I've got. So what I want to do first of all is just start off at the back, and I'm just going to put that scraper in between the first purple layer and the lilac layer, and I'm just going to put my finger on the back of the scraper and just bend that cardstock through and over that scraper, and it just sort of curls it up a little bit and makes it look a little bit more flower-like. And we can do that again with the next one and the next one. It's a little bit fiddly, so you'll need to be careful and you'll need to have quite a bit of patience to do it. There we go. And you're just going to want to do that on all of your flowers. Okay, once you're happy with your flowers and how you've bent them round, you can now attach them onto your card. Now, because I've got this little bit of foil that's not quite right on here, I'm going to cover it up with one of my flowers. So I'm just going to be a little bit naughty and just pop the glue on the back there and just cover up that little flaw in the card. And then I'm going to get the next one and just pop that one there. And then I shall get the next one and just pop it on there. Here's our finished card then. Doesn't it look gorgeous? I'm so pleased with how it's turned out. Don't forget, if you do make one for yourself, for your mum, don't forget to tag me in Instagram for any pictures, and I'll pop the link to my Instagram down below in the description for you. I hope you've enjoyed this video and you have felt inspired today to make something beautiful. I'll see you again for another one really, really soon. Bye!